joining today's demo, and let's proceed where we left yesterday. Okay, so for people like who could not make it today and who are able to make it, who were not able to make it yesterday and who are able to join today. So just a brief small introduction to them so that they'll get to know what we are trying to do over here. Okay, so what we did yesterday is, so if you go to the streaming folder, okay, and if you just try to see the first 5 records from my, so this were the data sets. Like, actually I was trying to do a manual ingestion. Okay, so what was actually planned yesterday, so the plan was, there were 2 pipelines which we needed to create. Okay, so the first pipeline is already been done yesterday. Okay, so the data which we were getting like was this. Okay, so if you see, it's a JSON data, and again, like in JSON we have some kind of array data. So if you see, the array data is over here. So we had to flatten the data, we had to do some exploration, do some transformation, and it was kind of streaming data. As soon as you are pushing the data, okay, you were able to see the data onto the screen. So that was like yesterday we covered, and this is the output which we got it yesterday, but that was in Avro format. It was in binary format, so we were not able to see yesterday because it was in binary format. So the final output for us is this, so which we would be achieving today. So yesterday's pipeline was, I was trying to do a manual data ingestion. Okay, as of now I was trying to push this data manually, but when it comes to training, we would be automating this flow either through a shell script or a NiFi data ingestion tool. Okay, just for here I'm just showing manually just to test my code. Then what we did is we created a topic. So the data which was coming from year to year, okay, that was in JSON format, and it was kind of a nested data. Then with the help of structured streaming using PySpark, we tried to do some apply some transformations on the streaming data, and we were able to get the data similar kind of this, and we were able to push the data to a topic, and that topic data was in Avro format. So this was like piece which was covered yesterday. So what we would be doing, if you see the colors, so this topic and this topic is same. So now today what we would be doing is, we would be running the yesterday's pipeline also. Why? Because we need to have the data in Avro format, right? So for that we will be running yesterday's pipeline, and once we run the yesterday's pipeline, so we would be getting the data in Avro format. So today we'll try to apply some logic so that we get the data like this, and finally write the data to a new topic. Okay, so this topic is again this is like we will be having, this is a third one. So this will be second one which we created yesterday, and this was first one. So we are playing with multiple topics. The data engine, so it's like a Kafka bus, like for streaming messages, and to perform streaming transformations and whatever analysis or whatever work we need to do. So we are using taking help of PySpark. Here I'm trying to do a manual ingestion. As I told, it can be automated via Flink, NiFi, and various other platforms. Okay, so that was like yesterday. So if people are like coming for the first session, so let me go to the code. I'll not go in depth. Okay, so this was the code which was written yesterday. We imported few packages which was required. We initialized the Spark session. We created a schema according to the data which we are trying to receive. Okay, so we received the schema, we prepared the schema. Okay, then we tried to read the data from a topic, from the Kafka topic. So we were getting like 6 to 7 columns. Then as per schema, so we were getting that value column. In that value, it was an array. Then we exploded the data. After exploding, still one column was nested. So then we flattened the entire stuff, and finally we returned to an Avro format, and that was what we have seen yesterday. So today we'll try to make a move. Okay, and that move will be, so we need to catch this. So what is the thing we need to catch? So we need to pick the data from the topic which we have written yesterday, so that will be our source, and finally we'll write the data to a new topic. In between, some data munging, data transformation as per the requirement. Okay, so now as of now I know the requirement, so I'm building the code according to that. So once you move into the training or maybe like into projects, you'll be knowing the requirement, and based on that you will be building the code. Okay, so that was the stuff. So let's begin like as we started yesterday. So today we'll again do the same thing. We'll break into pieces and we'll go step by step. Okay, but today I think like I'll not go into the much of explanation code. And again, don't get bothered about the code. So these all are part of training. Once you join, everything will be taken right from the basics. So don't worry about like how the lengthy is code, why it is coming, where it is coming from. You don't need to bother about that. Okay, cool. So let's start with step by step. So the first step for us would be ideally like yesterday, same like yesterday. So we need to
Saif, quick thing. If you can please let some people in.
okay.
Sorry for interrupting.
No issues, no issues. That's my pleasure. You help me
Can you
and other
show one
people as well.
diagram, that one?
Yeah. Okay. So are we good to go?
There is a master diagram, right? One architect diagram, so that people who join that will
Yeah. I would be referencing in
understand. They
between.
will
Don't worry.
understand whoever joined today.
Yeah. I would be referencing that in between because we would be writing the data according to this,
Yeah,
and
one
then
more. Yeah. One more diagram is there, right? Master diagram.
okay. Let's begin. So
Yeah, that one only. Yeah.
yeah. Thank
There
you
we
so
can understand big picture, right? So,
yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's make a move. So today, like we'll try to complete the second part which is left for us. Okay. So for the first thing is like we'll try to start the like yesterday we started the zookeeper. Okay, and we started the Kafka, and we created some topics. Okay, as per requirement, and we created a producer, and we created some consumers. Okay, so this is like what we did yesterday. So same thing like we'll try to do today as well. Okay, cool. So let's begin. So let's go to my terminal and let's open a new terminal. Let's go to the zookeeper home, and under zookeeper home I need to start something. Okay, so that is nothing but zkserver.sh, and we just need to say start. Hopefully that should be up and running. Let's clear off the screen, and if you try to do JPS, so we should have one zookeeper service up and running. And also what you can do is you can check with your 4LW word, so that is stat. Okay, and we'll just try to grep, or let's say netcat on the local host for now. The port is not 2181. Okay, so we are able to connect to KISS zookeeper. So again, like here also we can verify, but so the first thing is done. The second thing is we need to start the Kafka. Okay, so what we will do is again let's change the directory to Kafka home. Okay, under here, so don't worry about these configurations files which I'm picking. Okay, so all these like are part of like again like I'm not reiterate, I don't want to reiterate, so don't worry about this. All these configurations will be told you to you later in minute details. So here I'm trying to start my Kafka server.sh. Okay, so what I need to do is I just need to use one of the shell, that is Kafka server.start.sh. Okay, and under config there is some server properties file wherein like if it is a single node Kafka cluster, it will be pointing to some broker ID. If it is multi-node Kafka cluster, so it will be pointing to some broker ID corresponding to their zookeeper ports. Okay, that's what the configurations are being embedded in these files. Okay, so let it get executed. Okay, so it is picking up. Okay, for now we are being started. Okay, so let's verify this as well, and we will just try to use another 4LW word, so that is dump. Okay, sometimes it, let's grab the brokers. Okay, so we are able to get that. Okay, so broker ID 1, and now if we should be able to get that as well. Okay, sometimes it takes a little time. Cool, so the first steps are done. Okay, so we are able to, not this, so we are able to get the whatever necessary things are required, so we are up and there. Now what we'll try to do is, okay, as we need to work on this diagram. Okay, so yesterday's code is ready, but the topics which we created yesterday are like being closed. Okay, so for today I'll have to create this topic. This is the first topic, this is the second topic which will be the same topic, and there will be a third topic. So 3 topic needs to be get created. Okay, so let's do that first. Okay, so let's come back to over here. Okay, so the first step is kind of done. Now let's go to the step 2. Now in the step 2 we need to, as I said, so we need to start certain shells. So under Kafka, okay, there are so many. Let me just utilize some little time because the code again like it's okay. So even if we are consuming time, that's fine. So let's open a new terminal, And if I just try to go to the bin folder and if I try to do ls, okay, so there are so many shells available. If you see Kafka server.sh, I use this. Now which I would be using is like Kafka topics.sh for creating the topics. For producer, I would be using producer shell. For consumer, I would be using consumer shells. Okay, so all these are like being used, so no need to worry about this. It's already there. Okay, cool. So let's go back and create some topics. So under bin, okay, I have one shell that is nothing but topics.shell. Okay, so as we are trying to bootstrap, okay, so as I told yesterday, bootstrap server, okay, is nothing but during the execution it takes a local host to the port which we have configured and it will try to connect to your Kafka. After that, what I need to do is I need to create I need to create a topic. Okay, and what is that topic name? Okay, you can give any topic name. Let's say I'm trying to give a topic name that is called invoice. Okay, so let's paste this. Okay, so one topic has been created. So let's go to the diagram. So this is done. Let's quickly create second and third because it will be quick copy paste. Only the topic name will change. Okay, let's do copy, let's do paste, let's do paste. So the second will be like invoice items, and finally the third one will be like customer rewards that we are trying to do a calculation. So the final goal of this program is we need to calculate some aggregation based on customer. That's what we are trying to do. So quickly I'll copy these two statements and I'll execute this. So the second one is done and the third one is done. That looks clean and good. Okay, good. Now if you see, this is done, this is done, this is done, and this is done. Now what is there in our hand? Okay, so now we need to produce the data manually. So to produce the data, there is a shell that is nothing but a Kafka console producer.shell. And similarly, if we need to consume, again there is one more shell that will be consuming. So let's consider this is A topic. Let's consider this is B topic. So I need to produce the data to A topic and I need to consume the data into B topic. That's what we did yesterday. Okay, so here I'll have to create one producer and one consumer. Then in the second program, what I would be doing is the same topic. From there, I would be consuming the data into my structured streaming. Then again, there will be one more topic which would be created, and that will be like C. So that's how the flow would be. So what we can do is let's create only one producer is required because here, and the rest are like consumers only because they are being consumed from one another. Okay, so quickly write, let's say bin Kafka. Okay, so the shell is nothing but console as I showed you a little earlier. Okay, same thing. I'll do quick copy paste. So it is trying to connect. Okay, if it is, let's say if we are trying to connect to a multi-node cluster, so what we'll have to do is simply we'll have to write the port number which are assigned in your config properties. But as of now we are playing with single node cluster, so let's not go there. Okay, cool. Now what we need to do is when we need to produce the data, produce where to a topic. Okay, and that topic is nothing but the first one. Let's copy that and paste it over here. So this is the person which is this. Okay, so let's copy this quickly and let's open a new terminal. Let's paste this and it will be in a waiting state. Let it wait. Okay, so when it is in waiting state, so one thing is done. Now I just need to copy this and I need two consumers. Why two consumers? If you see here, I need to consume, and from here we will be the same source, so here also I need to consume. Okay, so there will be two consumers. Let's change from producer. Let's change from producer to consumer shell. Okay, nothing, no change. Consumer shell. Okay, and we are just consuming. Now here you need to be a little tentative. So from this, when the data will be produced, Okay, so the data will be consumed by this person. So that is B, right? And from this B, again in my second program, so let's reference the first one. So if you see invoice, so we will be pushing the data from here and we will be consuming over here. So the data will be pushed from invoice and we will be consuming in the invoice items. And in the second flow, same from invoice item. That's why I have given the same color to the B topic. And I would be writing to my or consuming to my third topic. So let's change this over here. Okay, so as of now we will just pick only one and we will write the entire code for the second one and then we'll start the third consumer. Okay, cool and clean. So all the basic requirement setups are done. Now we need to start with the code. Okay, so let's start writing the code. Now if you remember yesterday I prepared a small skeleton. Okay, skeleton in the sense like we started with like creation of some small things. Let's do the same thing over here. Okay, let's go back to the code now. Now we have starting the building the code. Okay, so let's start. So from PySpark.sql we are trying to import Spark session. Okay, I'm trying to create a main for me. Okay, in this I'm trying to build my Spark, which will be acting as a driver program in my Spark architecture. Okay, so Spark session dot builder. Let's give some application name, that is nothing but let's say read avro write JSON. Okay, that's what I'm trying to perform. Master, which is nothing but as of now I'm trying to use my local resources. You can say either use all the resources or you can specify some numbers. So don't worry about that as of now. And get or create. It's just a method. And let's make a code neat and clean so that it will be viewed in a single go. Okay, so that's what like we started from yesterday. So the driver program is created. Then what we did is we tried to, if we are trying to read the data from this Kafka topic, okay, we need to subscribe to that topic. Okay, that's where like yesterday's the code was written. So let's do that first. So I'll try to do Kafka underscore data frame. Okay, here spark.read. This is like a data frame API and this is like a streaming API. So if you are using data frames, you'll have to go with the read method, else you'll have to go with the restream. There are different like format. Okay, so formats are nothing but what are the sources, what are the sinks. As of now, for me, the source is nothing but my Kafka, wherein from where I would be reading some messages. Okay, then if you're trying to read the data from Kafka, you need to connect with by providing some key and value pair. Okay, so the key is nothing but I need to provide Kafka bootstrap servers, I guess. Okay, if typo error is there, and as we know we are connecting on a port 9092. That's what we were doing yesterday as well and we would be doing today as well. Okay, let's follow the same process. Then what we are trying to do is, again, we are trying to subscribe. So we need to provide a key and a value. So invoice is the topic where we are pushing the data, right? So here you need to say we are where we are subscribing to this topic, which means that if you take like an example of a cable connection, so let's say if you opt for that plan, then only you get the some channels. In a similar fashion, here Kafka in the code, I'm trying to take a subscription of that topic so that whatever the messages are being pushed to this, either via manually or through some automated flow, I will be getting that data. Okay, so here I'm trying to do a small subscription. Then again option. So here I would be starting to read the data from beginning. So that's why I'll try to say earliest. Okay, I don't want to miss any messages and I'll simply say load. Okay, I'll not show now today, I'll not show the printing of the messages because yesterday I have shown all like step by step, but again I'll show you, but I'll tell you what we would be getting over here. Here we would be getting 7 columns if you recall that. So step 2 is like designing a skeleton, designing a skeleton for Kafka Structure Streaming program. Okay, so with the first step, I would be getting a certain schema. If you recall that, like yesterday, when we were trying to print the schema, we were trying to get few values, and those was nothing but key, column, then we had a topic name, then we have a column called partition, then we had offset, then we have timestamp, and we had the final column was timestamp type, right? These were the things. Majorly, like when we are playing with the things, so these are like very important for us. Again, timestamp also plays a role, but here, like, again, everyone has its own meaning. Offsets, again, like there are different types of offsets: producer offsets, consumer offsets. So what was the last commit, what was the commit by the consumer, what was the commit by the broker? Everything has a lot of architecture and a lot of explanation. When it comes to partitions, okay, so what kind of mechanism they are trying to follow? Are they trying to follow a round robin fashion, or are they polling to a particular broker or to a particular broker ID? Okay, so that's what we will see. Topics, all those has meaning, but for us, like yesterday I showed you, we are interested in this column, and these two columns are in binary format, so we need to cast it to a string to be able to read the data in a console. Okay, that's what the code will give me now. Okay, let's make a move. We need to go till here, so we need to achieve this. Okay, so we have, let's consider like we are trying to do, and we are now writing the code over here. So we are in this box for now, so we are trying to write the code to achieve the final output. So the second step is done. Okay, if I run the print schema, I will be getting that, so pretty sure on that, so I don't want to repeat that, so I have a shortage of time. Yesterday, like last sixth and seventh step, I have copied the code, so today I need to write the entire code. Okay, so let's make a progress. Now step 2 is done. Let's make a progress to step 3. Okay, sorry, it's not step 3, so it's something like step 4. Okay, cool. Now let's go back to the code. Now I can understand, okay, I got that. So now what we need to do is, from this value column, okay, I need to do certain things. Now if you remember yesterday, when I was getting the data in a JSON format, right? So I was trying to use a from_JSON method. But now yesterday's pipeline has been written to a Avro format, right? So I'll not be able to use the same method. So in place of from_JSON, I will be needing, or I will be using a small change. Okay, and that will be nothing but, what it will be? Any suggestions? From_JSON will get replaced to
Avro.
from_Avro, right? So just trying to connect what we are writing. Okay, chalo, let's do that. So we'll try to again, and there is one more important point which I need to discuss over here. So when we are reading Avro data, okay, we need to define a schema in file and call them. Okay, that's what we do. If you recall yesterday's session, I created a schema, okay, and that schema was like in a data frame way right in my program. If you see this is the schema which we did yesterday. But when it comes to Avro, again, like it has a background, and I don't want to jump into that background because it will consume some time. For that, I'm just trying to skip. So what I have done is, just to save some time, okay, let's come back one step, and what is that file name? It should be something like, and I should say it cat. Okay, so Avro, yeah, this is the file. So if you see, I have already created a schema for us that we would be evaluating. Based on that, we would be getting it. Okay, again, it has a story, so don't worry about this. So let me go back to my place, and that is nothing but LFS dataset streaming, and let's skip. And we were just trying to add some few records. That was nothing but my sales invoice from any file. Okay, so this is like we are concerned. So I have already created the schema. So here what I will do is, I will point my schema to that file. Okay, so yesterday we completed this pipeline, right? So now what we are trying to do, we are trying to use the same over here. So in this, what we will try to do is, as this is an Avro read, I need to change, or I need to provide a schema. Okay, I already showed you the file where the file is reflecting. So I'll just try to pick that file. Okay, and it's like picking the file, it's very simple. For that, but I need to import one package. Okay, and that package is nothing but from PySpark.sql.avro. Okay, we need to import from, I think something is fishy, so I think I have not written something correct. So maybe like functions, I need to import from underscore avro. Okay, you get to know, like whenever you, so by practice it will come. Don't worry how I remember this, and by practice slowly and steadily. That's why I do not do, like I could have easily done like import all. So I don't do all those things, because we should know what packages, what functions, what methods are we referring. So let's write those explicitly and learn. Okay? Okay. So the first, now I need to refer that schema. So I'm just trying to refer that schema which I have created. Okay, so I'll try to open that file. Okay, again, if you just hover over it, it will try to tell you what are the necessary things it is required. Okay, so it is taking a file path. Okay, so that path is nothing but on my edge node. Okay, my edge node location is nothing but home Saif LFS datasets. Okay, and the file name even I don't remember. So that let's execute the history command, and I think the file name was this, right? So let's pick it and let's come back. Okay, so this is the file which we, it didn't copy it. So sometimes this Ubuntu like copy paste, it's okay, that's manageable, that's not a big problem. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to read a schema from this file which I have already defined as per my requirement. Okay, so that is done. Now if you're trying to read a schema, you need to define a mode, in which mode you want to go for. Okay, so let's remove all this. Okay, so the mode is like read, write, execute. Okay, again like read plus execute plus again, and I'll just call a read method on top of this. Okay, so with this I have defined my schema. Like yesterday we defined like a big schema. Now what I have done in Avro, I have referenced that schema in a file and I'm calling that file in my programs. Okay, so now what we will do is similar like yesterday, when the messages are being pushed. Okay, whenever the messages are being pushed, whatever the columns which we are getting, okay, from this we are interested in this column, because we would be getting the messages in that column. For that perspective, I'm trying to write a code for that only. Okay, so the code would be written for that only. So let's write the code for that. Okay, so I'm trying to, from my previous data frame, that is nothing but my Kafka data frame. Okay, I am trying to select. Okay, now the format which we are trying to read is from underscore avro. Okay, the column which I am interested in is nothing but, that column is nothing but a value, right? So I need, if you see there is a red mark, immediately you need to understand, okay, something is missing or something is, so that's like you start developing your habit of importing the function. Okay, so functions, I'm importing a call. Okay, as of now this is just like an environment bug. So what we need to do for this VM, so we just need to fix this by syntax. It's just an environment bug. Cool. So we are trying to read this value. Yesterday we have defined the schema. Similarly we'll define the schema. So this schema will be referenced over here. Okay, if it is a from avro or from underscore JSON, what it needs two things. The first is column, the second is schema definition. Yesterday we defined in a data frame way. Today we are trying to define in a file and reference over here. Okay, cool. After that, simply we were trying to alias that column. So let's do that as well today, so that we will be value. Okay, let's execute this piece of code if we want to see quickly. Okay, so what we can do is, let's say value df dot print schema. Okay, let's execute this as well. Kafka DA, that whatever I showed, so the 7 columns, and here as per the schema defined, so we should be able to see if there are no issues in the code. If there are issues, we'll try to debug the code, we'll try to find out the issues, we'll fix it and rerun that again. So as of now, I'm just playing with the schemas, so just for identify, I'm not pushing the actual data. Okay, we got this schema and we got this schema as well. Okay, so far so good. The code which we have written looks good and we are on the right track for now. Okay, let's remove this printing of the schema, not mandatory for us now. Cool. Now let's go over here and let's copy this piece and let's come over here. So we got this. Now when we got this, now finally the aim is I need to create some grouping and aggregation. So this is like a final outcome which I want. The data which we are trying to send is something like this. So this is the data which will be ingested from the first pipeline. We would be getting the data like this. Then we would be reading the data from this and we are trying to convert into this. So that's like the data transformations or the ETL work or the transformation as per the requirement we are trying to do. So we got the schema like this. Now based on the schema, I need to understand what I need to do and what I don't need to do. Okay. So what client has told me, I have so many types of customers. I have prime customers, I have gold customers, I have bronze customers, and some let's say silver customers. Out of these customers, I want you to find only the prime customers, and based on those prime customers you need to find the total loyalty and the reward points. This is like the requirement is being given to us. So whenever we implement this and the downstream team get the final output, it could be a scenario by looking at this reward points and this total purchase, they might be sending some flyers. Again, that is like BI team that would be presenting a meaningful dashboards and reports to the higher management people for some strategic decisions. We are least concerned about that, but the requirement for us is we need to transform the data that belongs to a prime customer. Let's go to the source, and what we can do is let's grep prime records and let's pick only 2. Okay, so we are getting some prime records. Okay, it means that the data is coming from us, from source. So we are getting that data. Okay, so here like I am trying to create a requirement because, but again, like once you move into projects, the requirements would be given. So you need to build your pipeline as per that, right? Cool. So let's move ahead on this pointer. So we need to filter the data as per the prime customers. Okay, that is cool. And these prime customers will be belonging to some card, right? So if you see, when I was trying to reference a prime customer which was of customer type, okay, then it would be, there will be some unique number to which it being assigned to. Okay, so that is nothing but customer card number. Based on that, I will be taking the price and I will be taking the value to perform certain calculations. Don't worry about these calculations because I'm just picking some random calculations and I'm trying to perform the logic. Okay, let's do this in our code itself. Okay, let's make a step forward. Cool. Now we need to perform certain aggregations. Okay, so we are able to see the value and in that few columns are there. So what I need to do is I need to create a data frame that will be having a rewards, something, whatever variable name you can give, it's your call. I will be using my previous data frame. As I told you, a small requirement that we need to have the customers of a type prime. That's what we grabbed it, right? So let's do that. So customer type equals to of time prime. Okay, we got that. So how did we did grabs? In a similar way, I tried to do from the entire data. I'm just trying to pick my few prime customers. Cool. Okay. After that, once I pick my prime customers, okay, as soon as I pick my prime customers, I would be trying to find out to which card it is belonging to, so that I can group that particular card basis on his transaction, so that I will have a meaningful value that is nothing but rewards or some loyalty points. So that's what I'm trying to do over here. Okay, so what I'm trying to apply is small, simple. Like, I'm just like, people coming from SQL background, various programming, they will be like quickly doing. So don't go into much of coding. So just understand at very high level. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do a grouping on the base on my customer card number. Hopefully the column names which I am referencing are right. Okay, so let's, okay, so that is correct, customer card number. Okay, so customer card number that is being referenced. So the, let's bring into the new line. Okay, so that is being grouped. Cool. Once it is grouped, now I'll have to perform some aggregations. Okay, so the aggregations are nothing but, let's see what is the final output. So we need to find total purchase and aggregated rewards. Okay, so let's see the schema. So what we will do is we'll try to find out the sum of the price, that is nothing but this. So alias as total purchase, and the second is, what we will do is the total value column. Okay, we'll take these two columns and we'll try to do certain things. Okay, I'm trying to apply a sum. What's my column? Okay, so from my value, okay, I'm taking a column that is nothing but my item price. Okay, so this is the column which I am referencing. So I'm applying a sum on my column, and I'm just trying to alias. Okay, what they are asking us to alias, total purchase. Okay, so I'll just simply alias as total purchase. Okay, so the first aggregation is done. Let's move on with the second aggregation. Okay, so I'm just trying to write a small expression over here because I would be performing certain calculations. So when I'm trying to write, let's import that so that I won't get any errors during the runtime of my program. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use a column, and that column which we are referencing is total value. Okay, so I'm trying to reference this column which is nothing but my total value. Okay, and I'm just trying to do certain multiplication, whatever it's like. Let's say just randomly, as of now I'm applying some, as of now, don't stick why I'm trying to do why, just something. Okay, as it's a type of double, let me cast it to an integer. Okay, and I think this should need, no, it need not to be imported. If it throws an error, so we'll try to see what it is doing. Okay, so I'm trying to alias this as well. What they're asking, aggregate rewards. Okay, so let's name that aggregated rewards. Okay, cool. So few pieces which I needed, so I have just done those things. The first thing is nothing but I needed to perform a groupie. I needed to filter the prime customers only. I needed to do on a basis, because on a particular card there will be so many transactions. Based on that, I'm trying to calculate total purchase, and I'm trying to give them certain rewards on that. So just a small calculation has been done. Okay, so when I execute this, okay, I will be getting these columns. And now I don't want to go into that because again I've been running short of time. So like you will be getting those things. And the final point which we are left at, okay, now what I need to do is I need to, okay, so we have done a grouping, so that is done. And final step, what we need to do is we need to send this, where we need to send this, we need to send this to my topic. Okay, so let's go back to the diagram. So we have written a code, so we are till here, we have achieved these columns. Now we need to write this. Okay, so yesterday, if you recall, I told you whenever we are trying to write the data to a topic, as topic has columns like this, so we always need to write the data belonging to these columns only. We cannot use these columns straight away. Okay, now for that purpose I can use key value for being, so I'm interested only in these two columns to write the data, so I'm using that. Okay. So the final step for us is nothing but step 5, where we are writing data to a Kafka topic. Okay, whatever the requirement was that we have calculated or means done the whole transformation as per requirement, and final is write it back. So let's write that. So let's say I'm trying to write, let's say Kafka target data frame, any naming convention you can follow. Okay, so the previous is nothing but my rewards data frame. Okay, so I'll try to do a select, and here I need to write two things. The first one is my key. Okay, so I'll be going on the basis of my card number. So this will be my key. And the second thing is I need to have a value where the messages will be written. Okay, and they need to be now in a JSON format so that we can read it. Yesterday they were in binary format, we were not able to view that, right? Cool. So what we will do, simply the same thing. So in split, if you remember yesterday we have done 2 avro, so today we will do 2_JSON, right? And we are trying to use a struct because it will be embedded in a list of array all the columns. That's why I'm trying to apply that. So the column name is, I think it's up only line number 24. So that is nothing but total purchase. Okay, and I'm aliasing that as aggregated. Hopefully this typo should not give any errors. Okay, aggregated rewards, that is done. And finally I need to say alias this as everything as my value. Okay, so I've generated my key and I've generated my value. Okay, so these are the two things, like, hopefully which we are interested in. Okay, so let's bring this in single line. Okay, so done. So key value is being framed. So we have used struct. Let's copy this and let's go at the top and import that as well. So otherwise we will get errors during the runtime. Okay, so that is done. If you remember yesterday, whenever we want to see the data frame outputs, we can easily do a callable action that is nothing but show. But when it comes to streaming applications, few actions are not available in streaming. For that purpose, we need to write a streaming result, and that needs to be awaited a manual intervention so that whenever we push the data, we should be able to see the data. Okay, cool. So what I'll say is, finally, let's say rewards result. Okay, I'll be using my Kafka target data frame. I'll be writing the data, hence I'm trying to use write stream. Okay, the format is nothing but we are trying to write the data to a Kafka topic. Okay, when we are trying to write the data to a Kafka topic, I need to provide few options, right? What are those options? We have already done while reading. Same we need to do over here. So let's write option, key, and the value. So the value is nothing but localhost and the port is 9092. Then Kafka, then bootstrap servers. Okay, let's go back and let's write one more option, that is nothing but we need to subscribe to a topic. Okay, so that is nothing but we don't need to subscribe, but we need to write it. So that's why I'm using a key to a topic. If you remember, like, so this is here we are trying to refer that. So that is the topic, and the topic name which we have created for us is customer rewards. Let's pick that and let's paste it over here. Okay, that's done. The append mode, update mode, or whatever, so let's say output mode I'm trying to use for now is update because I need to have an aggregation. Okay, that is done. Then I think finally for failure, so I need to give my checkpoint location. So checkpoint location is nothing on my desktop, so that is like home, Saif okay, it is like desktop, okay, and there is one directory which I have created, I have shown you yesterday, and let's say we'll give some random name, okay, and let's start this, okay, and we need to call this rewards result and await till termination. Cool. So good. So like we are within the reach of the time, okay, so all the required necessary codes we have taken care, okay. So let's go to the architecture which we were trying to achieve, okay, and recall few steps again back at the closing final step, okay. Cool. So yesterday we have seen first pipeline where we are pushing the data manually to a Kafka topic. The data is going in a JSON format. Then we are trying to consume it in PySpark. We have written certain code to flatten the data and to get the data as per a requirement, and finally written to a topic in an Avro format. Today, what we would be doing is we would be referencing the same topic data. We would be doing some transformations as per requirement. Like I want a platinum customer, and I want to find out the total rewards and aggregated points, something like that. So based on that, we applied some logic, and finally we are writing the data to a Kafka topic in a JSON format. Okay, if we come back to the code, okay, so this is like yesterday's code which we have written. Okay, so the code is ready for us. This is the entire code which we have written. Only like few steps, like due to shortage of time, we were not able to complete, so I did a copy paste. Okay, so this is the first piece of code. So if you see over here, the data will be pushed to this, which is nothing but invoice. Let's reference back over here. Then we are doing certain things, and we are writing the data to this invoice hyphen underscore items, which is nothing but this, right? The same thing what we are trying to do is, if we go to the top, we are referencing the same invoice items. Let's come back over here. That's why I have given the same color, so that you can point it or you can refer that appropriately. We are trying to perform some whatever the stuff they have asked us to do. We did that, and finally, if you see, we are writing data to a Kafka topic. Okay, so first we need to run this because we need to get the data in an Avro format, and then we would be referencing this program. Okay, if all looks good, hopefully the program should execute, and we should be able to see the aggregated result for a particular customer. That is nothing but total purchase and the reward points for that customer. Okay, so this is the first program. Let's go back. Producer, sorry, these are the topics. For the first producer is ready and the first consumer is ready. So let's go back to the program and let's execute this program. Okay, so let's come, or let's scroll a little up. Okay, see, if it is waiting, so that gives us a good sign. It means no errors, and again, like we have implemented this yesterday only. Let's go back. So what I have done is I have just copied the data. So just for let me copy the data, and let's come back, and this is the producer, right? So I need to push this. As soon as I enter, we should get some data in a binary format. That's what like yesterday's. Let's hit this, and we are getting something. Cool. So the first program is running as per our requirement. Okay. Now, the second program, it will read the data from this Avro topic, and I need to create the third one, that is nothing but we have kept today. So let's consume this, okay, customer rewards. So what we would be doing, so the data now which is written in Avro format, we will be consuming that, and the final stuff should be there. So let's go back and let's go to the second program, and once we execute this second program, okay, let's execute this. Okay, now let's see what it is pitching us. Cool. So this also does not gives any issues to us. Let's go back, and we're not able to see the output as well. Okay, let's wait for some time. Are we getting any errors? No errors for now. Okay, we got the output. If you see, we are getting the output. What is there? Total purchase was done something. So we got some total purchase, and what we got, aggregated rewards. Okay, let's push the same just to test whether the flow is working or correct on. So now if I push the same record, it will come into Avro format, and this should get, as per our calculation, the sum and aggregation should happen perfectly. Let's do that. So I think I have the same. No, let's, this is not the piece. Let's go back and copy that same data again. Okay, so for the same customer, so for the same customer type, that is prime, the card number would be the same. So the total purchase and the aggregation should be done in a real time. As of now, I'm trying to do manually, but in real projects it would be happening in microseconds. Let's hit this. We should be able to get something, and we should be able to get some output. Let's wait for that output. Yeah, we are getting that. So if you see, if you just do a double of 1313, it is 2626, and 262, it is like 524. So which means that our entire pipeline is working fine, and we are able to convert the entire pipeline or the entire requirement which was presented to us. Okay, so that's it for today's demo. So like I'll stop the recording.